All right. Good evening, my dear viewers. How are you guys doing? I believe you all are doing great wherever you are. So, my people, things they happen now for this Warri. A lot of things are happening in Warri regarding the Supreme Court ordered Warri Federal Constituency Delineation Report. A lot of things are happening, and it is necessary that I consistently bring these informations out for the public to see and hear, because let it not be that by the time the judges and rebels of Warri Federal Constituency react to these incessant attacks from the Shekiris, people will not say that the judges and rebels collaborated to fight the Shekiris. Now, for some days now, the Shekiris have been the ones promoting propaganda on social media, saying that the judges have gone to court, that they are against the proposition of Mr. President, that the judges and the rebels are against it, that our people have headed to court to challenge the proposition of Mr. President during that meeting, which was a big lie. You all saw the press briefing organized by the judges and collaboration of the judges and rebels of Warri Federal Constituency. The Shekiris like Yemi Otuedo and his gang were parading false information that the Ijaw people and Yoruba people have gone to court to file a case against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the National Security Advisor Neil Rubadu, that they are not comfortable with the proposition of Mr. President. That was the lie they were spreading online. But when you see our press briefing a few days ago, it will reveal everything to you, that we, the judges and rebels of Warri Federal Constituency, we are comfortable with the proposition of Mr. President. And not because it meets our needs and our demands 100%. No, but for the sake of peace and stability, for the sake of political tolerance, for the sake of the fact that Mr. President, who is the #1 citizen of this country, intervened in the issue and proposed a political solution to the issue. That is the reason why we decided, if the #1 citizen of the country has made his intention known and has made a proposition regarding this issue, who are we to challenge it again? Out of respect for Mr. President was the reason why the judges and rebels accepted that proposition. If not, we would have always called for the full implementation of the delineation report that was obtained, written after the exercise was conducted by INEC. If not for our respect for Mr. President and the National Security Advisor, if not for that, we would have demanded for the implementation of the original delineation report, which shows clearly that the judges and rebels of Warri Federal Constituency are the majority. And in that original document, raw document, the judges of Warri Southwest, we had 16 words, which were practical. The INEC conducted the delineation exercise and came up with the figures that the Ijaw people in Warri Southwest are more than the Shekiris. And as such, the allocations were appropriated and 16 wards were to be allocated to the judges of Warri Southwest, while the Shekiris were allocated 4 wards. 4. The judges were about to receive 16 political wards, going by their population, while the Shekiris were expecting just 4. But what happened? You see the whole thing. INEC delayed the implementation to a very, very large extent, to the point that Mr. President had to intervene. And now, with the intervention of Mr. President, we are no longer going back to the original reports, which shows that the judges of Warri Southwest have 16 wards and the Shekiris have 4. We are now consenting, we are now accepting the proposition of Mr. President. Like I said, for the sake of peaceful coexistence, peace and stability in Warri Federal Constituency and Delta State at large. And of course, out of respect for the office of the number one citizen of the country, Mr. President, and the NSA. It is out of respect that we accepted the proposition of Mr. President. And we did a press briefing about it. We said it openly. We told the entire Nigerian state that we have accepted the proposition of Mr. President, where he proposed that the judges of Warri Southwest should be allocated with 11 political wards, while the Shekiris should be allocated with 9 political wards. And then, if you go to Warri South, the Robos of Warri South should be allocated 11 political wards, while the Shekiris, the Robos to be allocated with about 8, 9, or 10. Let me even get a confirmation from this so that we don't get it wrong. We don't get it wrong. Robos of Warri South were to get about 10 wards or so, while the Shekiris were to get how many? 8. Shekiris were to have 8, and the judges of Warri South were to have 3 political wards. I think the Robos had 9, yes. Robos had 9 political wards in Warri South. It is 9 political wards. Following the proposition of Mr. President, the Robos have 9 political wards in Warri South, and the Shekiris has 8, while the judges of Warri South had 3. Following the proposition of Mr. President. And then if you go to Warri North, the judges have 10, the Shekiris have 10. But in these 3 Warri local governments, the INEC original delineation report reveals that the judges of Warri Southwest are the overwhelming majority, with a total of 16 political wards, while the Shekiris had just 4 political wards in Warri Southwest. And then, if you go to the Warri North local government, that the judges are more populated than the Shekiris there, and they had more wards. Go to Warri South, the Robos had more political wards than the Shekiris, for a very, very large margin, following the original delineation report. But all of these things, we have to compromise. We have to overlook them, mainly because the number one citizen of the country, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, intervened in the issue and proposed a political solution to address these challenges about delineation in Warri Federal Constituency. Out of respect for his office and the office of the NSA, we accepted it. We said, okay, no, Allah. If not, we would have gone back or would have demanded for the implementation of the original report, which gives the judges of Warri Southwest 16 wards, and the judges of Warri North more than 10 wards, and of course the Robos. You see, and if you look at the social media now, the Shekiris are parabolating. They are saying that we, the judges, are the ones kicking against Mr. President's proposition. I just look at them and I laugh. Shekiris as promoting propaganda that the judges and Robos of Warri Federal Constituency are kicking against the proposition of Mr. President. A proposition that we did a press briefing to publicly accept. Shekiris are saying that we are fighting the president for proposing that the judges should be allocated with 11 political wards, while the Shekiris 9 in Warri Southwest, and the rest that we are fighting Mr. President. But as I speak to you now, who is in court? Who has gone among these 3 ethnic groups, has gone to Federal High Court in Abuja to file a case against Mr. President and the National Assembly? I mean the National Security Advisor. Who? It is you, the Shekiris. As I speak to you now, you Shekiris have gone to Federal High Court in Abuja to file a suit against Mr. President, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, for the proposition Mr. President made. You are the ones fighting Mr. President. Because if you look at it, like I said, the Jaws are not in court. The robots are not in court. Who is in court among the three ethnic groups? It is you. And what is the reason for that suit that you filed? It is to fight against Mr. President for proposing that the Jaws of Warri Southwest should have 11 wards and the Shekiris 9, and the robots of Warri South should have 9 wards and the Shekiris 8, and then the Jaws of Warri South also have 3. Then Warri North, the Jaws to have 10 wards and the Shekiris have 10 wards. You are the ones fighting against that proposition of Mr. President. You are the ones fighting against it. You have no single iota of respect for Mr. President. After you just come out there and say, job people they fight Mr. President to say, job people they cause and abuse president. Say we don't get respect for the office. Between we and you, who now have respect for Mr. President? Between we, the Jaws and robots of Warri Federal Constituency, and you, Shekiris, who has displayed respect, maturity to the office of the President and the NSA. Small thing now, and I will begin wrong. Say, job people don't attack Tinubu. Job people they cause the President. Then they call the President name. People they call the President name. All of these things we are talking about. Now, this is practical evidence. Mr. President gave a proposition, and by that, every single ethnic group in Warri Federal Constituency is supposed to accept that proposition, coming from the #1 citizen of the country. But you rejected it. Even after signing a memorandum of understanding, MOU, at the office of the NSA, you have rejected it. You have rejected the proposition of Mr. President. And now, as I speak to you, you are in court, in Federal High Court in Abuja, filing a case against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Nuhu Ribadu, the NSA, for proposing that the Jaws should be allocated with more wards in Warri Southwest and the robots more wards in Warri South, and of course the Jaws and the robots in Warri North have an equal number of wards. That is the fight now. That is the fight. I saw one of the Shekiri groups headed by one Ayiri Margot, one idiot, one of the lap dogs of that we are kicking against the proposition of Mr. President, which is a big lie, a blatant lie. We accepted it. And when we went to the office of the NSA, we signed an MOU to that effect to prove to Mr. President that we have accepted your proposition. We signed an MOU. But you, Shekiris, when you went to the NSA's office, you reluctantly signed an MOU and then came outside to file a case against Mr. President and the NSA for making that proposition. And you dare to come out to tell us that it is the Jaws and robots that are fighting in Shekiri. How? Between the Jaws and robots of Warri Federal Constituency and you, Shekiris, who has filed the case against Mr. President and NSA? Tell me. The details are out there. You have headed to you went to the Federal High Court in Abuja to file a case against them. That the President does not have the prerogative power to make a proposition in this Warri Federal Constituency delegation matter. That is your argument. That is your argument. That the responsibility is solely saddled on the shoulders of the Delta State government. That is your argument, Naishekiri. That the President have no prerogative power or whatsoever to make any proposition to the delineation issue in Warri Federal Constituency. And as such, you will not accept, you have rejected, outrightly rejected this proposition. That is the case you have filed against Mr. President in Federal High Court in Abuja. That is the case you have filed against him. Yet you are coming out to say that the Jaws are attacking Mr. President, the robots are attacking Mr. President. How? How? If we were not comfortable with the proposition of Mr. President, we would have told him there. Categorically, the Jaws and robots of Warri Federal Constituency are not cowards. The persons who went to represent us are not cowards, are people that everybody knows are brave people, courageous people, sensible people. If they were not comfortable with the proposition made by Mr. President, the delegation of the JOS, which was led by High Chief Ambassador Gospel Agbenekama, and then the delegation of the rebels that was led by Honorable Victor Okumada, they would have outrightly rejected the proposition right there in the presidential villa before the very eyes of the president. They would have rejected it. But they felt like there is need for political tolerance and compromise. And the proposition coming from the number one citizen of the country, they have to accept it. They had no choice but to accept it. Even though the delineation report, the original delineation report, proves that we are the overwhelming majority in Warri Federal Constituency. But because Mr. President has intervened, our people accepted it. But you acted as if you are in support of that proposition, and even went to the NSA's office alongside the JOS to sign an MOU that you will not cause any trouble in the course of this, the implementation of this delineation report. You signed an MOU, then you went outside to start to file a case against Mr. President and the NSA, kicking against the proposition made by the president. And you dare to come out to tell us that now the job people and Rupo, they fight president too. Say now then they cause president. This disrespect one and disrespect and so. Which other disrespect big past this one? Between you and the JOS and the robots of Warri Federal Constituency, who is now disrespecting Mr. President? Who is disrespecting Mr. President? That Mr. President will give a directive, a micro-ethnic group, and the micro-ethnic group will outrightly reject that directive from Mr. President. Is that not the highest level of disrespect? Is that not the highest level of disrespect? That the number one citizen of the country gave a directive to the 3 ethnic groups in Warri Federal Constituency, and then 2 ethnic groups accepted it. And then 1 ethnic group is now outrightly rejecting that proposition and directive made by Mr. President. Is that not the highest level of disrespect? You say your people and your people don't have regard for Mr. President, whereas you are the ones that are filing a case against Mr. President. Everybody in Nigeria have seen the position of the JOS and Robos in this delineation matter. We did not only accept the proposition of Mr. President at the presidential villa and accepted to sign and signed the MOU at the office of the National Security Advisor. We came here also to organize a press briefing to further inform our people and the government that we are comfortable with the proposition made by Mr. President, and we have accepted them, and we are ready to work with it. We are ready to work with it. Is that not respect and loyalty to the number one office of the country? But here you are, spreading false informations that the job and Rupo, they don't disrespect Mr. President because of our press briefing. How would they disrespect him now? How? As a matter of fact, if there should be any changes or alteration of the delineation report, that is the directive and the proposition of Mr. President, it will be a betrayal on the part of the government and INEC. It will be a betrayal. Because with the JOS and robots of Warri Federal Constituency, we have accepted the proposition made by Mr. President, even though it does not satisfy our demands, our deserved political rights and benefits. We accepted it from Mr. President. So if there should be any alteration of that proposition that has been made by Mr. President, it will be a direct betrayal of the JOS and robots of Warri Federal Constituency by the federal government, Mr. President and the NSA and INEC. Because you cannot tell us to compromise, and we have compromised. In the worst case ever, we have compromised. We have agreed to have equal number of political wards with the Ishekiris in Warri North. When we know that we are the overwhelming majority, we have agreed to have 11 political wards in Warri Southwest, just ahead of the Ishekiris, with just about 2 political wards, when we are supposed to have more. We accepted it. Look at the Urhobos and the Jos of Warri South. The Urhobos accepted to have just 9 political wards when they deserve more than 9, following or going by the delineation report that was written after the exercise was conducted by INEC. They deserve more. But look at it. We accepted all of this. So if there should be any alteration, it will be a betrayal to our people. So as I speak to you, it is the president and the presidency and the INEC that needs to do the needful at this point. Because we, the job people, we have shown to the entire country that we are comfortable with the proposition made by Mr. President. So it is on the part of INEC to fully implement the proposition so that electoral activities can commence immediately in Warri Federal Constituency, especially in these 2 state constituencies that were created, and of course the proposed federal constituency, so that political parties can conduct their primaries for people to be represented, people to be projected for the 2027 general elections. Yes. Mr. President gave an order, we have accepted. If there should be any alteration of that order, it will be a betrayal. A betrayal of the Jos and Urhobos by Mr. President and the INEC and the office of the NSA. So don't try to paint us black that we are against the proposition of Mr. I want to fight against them. How? How? Before he very eyes for Abuja, we accept them. He said, we will go meet NSA, sign a memorandum of understanding, MOU, to truly confirm and show, say, we accept the proposition made by Mr. President. We went to the NSA's office. You, Shekiris, came there too. And we signed an MOU that we are comfortable with the proposition made by Mr. President. With the 11/8 in Warri Southwest, and 9/8 in Warri South, and then 10/10 in Warri North. We accepted it. We accepted it. And we did not even end there. We came back to Delta State, to Warri here, our base, and then made organized a press briefing to further confirm it. And just there, fighting the Jos and Urhobos. Saying, now we they cause trouble. How? Now, if you look at the Warri Federal Constituency, the proposition of Mr. President, let me even bring it down. Let me break it in pieces so that even the layman can understand. The proposition of Mr. President at the meeting held at the presidential villa in Abuja on the 11th of June 2026, Mr. President proposed, excuse me guys, Madam, come open the distance forum. At the meeting, Mr. President proposed that the Warri Federal Constituency 2 that is about to be implemented by INEC or proposed by INEC, the power rotation system should be rotated amongst the ethnic groups in that very constituency. That is part of what Mr. President proposed. He said in Warri Federal Constituency 2 that is about to be created by INEC, Mr. President proposed that the Jos of Warri Southwest and Warri North should rotate the seat of the House of Representative member with the Shekiris of Warri Southwest. That was what Mr. President said. But here the Shekiris are saying that no, they don't want to rotate. That they want the constituency for themselves alone. And if you go to Warri South, Mr. President also proposed that the House of Rep seat in Warri South should be rotated among the Jos, the Urhobos, and the Shekiris. The 3 ethnic groups in Warri South. But of course, the Shekiris once again are rejecting it. They are saying that that constituency belongs to them, that they don't want to rotate with the Shekiris, Urhobos or the Jos. So between we and you, who is fighting Mr. President's decision? Who is fighting it? If you talk about the state constituencies, Mr. President nailed it on the head. He gave his directive that the Jos of Warri Southwest now have their own state constituency to send their representatives to the floor of the Delta State House of Assembly to represent them. And the Shekiris, of course, now have their own constituency in Warri Southwest. Now, if you go to Warri North, the Ijaws have their own constituency, and the Shekiris have their own constituency. And in Warri South, there are two constituencies, where the Shekiris have one, and then the Ijaws and Urhobos, even part of that is Shekiri, to manage the Ijaws and Urhobos and the Shekiris to manage two state constituencies in that Warri South. And then the Warri Federal Constituency 1 is to be handled, managed by the Ijaws, Urhobos, and the Shekiris in Warri South. In Warri South local government. While the proposed Constituency 2 is to cover Warri Southwest and Warri North, which is to rotate that seat between the Ijaws and the Shekiris in Warri Southwest and Warri North. You see the game. That was what Mr. President proposed. He said for political fairness and peaceful coexistence, we should accept it. And we accepted it. Even when we know that we are the majority, if we should go for a free and fair election, we will win. Because we have the number of votes. We are more populated than them. But here the Shekiris are saying that they don't want to rotate it. They don't want to rotate power. They are making case, especially with the Warri South delineation report. They are making case with it. That they are the majority in Warri South, even when the delineation report has proven that the Shekiris are minority. That the Urhobos are the majority in Warri South. And Mr. President has confirmed that as well. But the Shekiris are saying that we're not going to share, we're not going to rotate them with them. Say now our own, now we get Warri Federal Constituency 1. Now we, how it be on our own? How? How will they be on our own, Shekiris? Because I never still understand. That Warri Federal Constituency 1 covers both the Ijaws, the Shekiris, and the Urhobos of Warri South. And Mr. President's directive is for you people to rotate that seat within yourselves, the Ijaws, the Shekiris, and the Urhobos in Warri South. If the Shekiris go for 2 terms, the next, the Ijaws will go. If the Ijaws go for 2 terms, the next is Urhobos. That is how it will be rotated until the time for any other delineation. Maybe in the future. But till then, this rotational system is what Mr. President has proposed in Warri South. And then, Mr. President did not even end there. He also proposed that the chairmanship of the local government, the 3 local governments, should be rotated amongst the ethnic groups as well. Mr. President said that. He said the chairmanship of the 3 local governments should be rotated as well. That the chairmanship in Warri Southwest should be rotated amongst the Ijaws and the Shekiris in Warri Southwest. And that of Warri North should be rotated amongst the Ijaws and the Shekiris in Warri North. And then the chairmanship position in Warri South is to be rotated amongst the Ijaws, the Shekiris, and the Urhobos of Warri South. That was also the proposition, what Mr. President proposed. And when you look at the commissioner appointments, the Ijaws presented their own case before the president. That the appointment of commissioners, we want commissioners to be produced from the 3 Warri local governments. And Mr. President saw the reasons and accepted. And he further solidifies it by ordering INEC to go and act upon that. So that the Ijaws, the Warri Southwest and Warri North and Warri South will produce their own commissioners. That commissioners will be appointed from the 3 Warri local government and not solely from a particular local government or ethnic group. Mr. President proposed that too. He proposed that as well. That local government chairmanship henceforth should be rotated among the ethnic groups in the 3 Warri local governments. And that the position of the commissioner's appointment should go round, cut round the 3 local governments in Warri Federal Constituency. And then, of course, the Federal House of Representatives seat should be rotated among the ethnic groups in Warri Federal Constituency. That was the proposition of Mr. President. And we, the Ijaws and Urhobos of Warri Federal Constituency, like I said, we have accepted it. We have accepted it. But it is you, the Shekiris, that have outrightly rejected that proposition of Mr. President. You are presently in Federal High Court, where you filed a suit against Mr. President and the NSA, kicking against that proposition made by Mr. President after you have signed an MOU that you accept the proposition made by Mr. President. After you have signed an MOU, you went back to file a suit against the President and NSA that you are not comfortable with the proposition made by Mr. President. Is that not the highest level of disrespect? All this while, when the judges were making statements, organizing their press conference and press briefings, whenever statements are being made, you say that the judge put the cause Mr. President to. You begin to sing from left, right, center, as if you have become the spokespersons of the presidency. Every single thing you begin to shout that job people, people, they don't abuse Mr. President. Say which can't be this? Why not go abuse Mr. President? As if you are the spokespersons of Mr. President. Now what you on the parade system? Now the president don't give on a directive. What you call happen now? The same people when they act like saying now them be spokesperson for the president. Now they fight against the president again. What did they happen? You have been the ones carrying the issues of the president on your heads. Any small thing, you don't put a job for and rupo. They don't abuse the president. They don't abuse president's wife. They don't get respect for president's office. But now, the people when you say not get respect for president's office, now them don't accept the directive of the president, the proposition of the president. You when say you do get respect for the president's office, now you don't reject the proposition made by the president. As a matter of fact, you don't even go court, go file case against the president. Somebody when you say you respect. See, you Shakiri, or now, or not there anyway. Or not there anyway. And my own issue here is, if you continue to disregard the proposition of Mr. President and as such, prevent INEC from fully implementing the report, we will have no other option but to go back to the original report that was written by INEC. We have all the legal backings. We have all the legal backings. We will no longer accept any form of peaceful coexistence or peace and stability in Warri Federal Constituency again. Anything that wants to happen as a result of that, let it happen. Let it happen. If you continue with this your dubious character, we have no other choice but to go to the presidency and inform Mr. President that this is security that causing trouble. They have actually refused to accept your proposition and we cannot continue like this. Therefore, we want to go back to the original report that was written by INEC after the delegation exercise was conducted. We'll go back to that report and you'll see where you'll be. We'll go back to the report where the judges of Warri Southwest have 16 words and you have 4 words. Since you are not happy with this proposition made by Mr. President, where the judges have 11 words and you have 9 in Warri Southwest, and where the robots have 9 words and you have 8 in Warri South, and the judges 3 in Warri South, then if you go to Warri North, the judges and robots, the judges and you Shekiris have equal number of political words. Since you are not comfortable with this proposition and this arrangement, we are going to go back to the initial report written by INEC after the delegation exercise was conducted. We're going to go back to it. Then let's see if you have these benefits that you're having today. I told you guys before, we the judges and robots of Warri Federal Constituency, we are not scared of war. We are not scared of war. We are not scared of crisis. We are not. We are only respecting the office of the president and the NSA. And we only mean well for Warri and Delta State at large. We just want to maintain peace. We have tolerated your excesses for too long. We have tolerated your excesses. We have lived with your excesses for too long. We just want peaceful coexistence. That is the reason why we have compromised to this level of accepting the proposition made by Mr. President when it does not reflect the true democratic principles that were enshrined in the constitution of this country. When Mr. President's proposition does not show it, display it, that in democracy you cannot have the minority and the majority having equal political words. But here we are, we accepted it. We accepted it. Look at the Jos of Warri North, Egbemas, having the same political words with the Shekiris. When the INEC initial final delineation report proves that the Jos are way more than the Shekiris in Warri North. But today, they have 10 words. And you tell us that we are not respecting Mr. President. If we not respect Mr. President's office before, this in proposition we for not accept them. We for not accept them. Because now waiting INEC find out. Now we suppose they hold on to. Nobody supposed to tell INEC or anybody say INEC leave this one. Waiting INEC use their eyes see korokoro when they did the delineation exercise. Now waiting we suppose to hold on to say if not be that initial report, we not agree. Now waiting if we never wanted to respect the office of the president, that is the direction we would have taken. That is the position that would have been for the Jos and Robbers of Warri Federal Constituency. But out of respect for the #1 seat and the #1 citizen of the country, Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we accepted it. We accepted his proposition. We did a press briefing to further inform the president and everybody that we have accepted the proposition, even though it does not meet our demands 100%. We accepted it. So today, all this on our propaganda, it not go work. It won't work. The political situation in Warri South has been decided by Mr. President. It has been decided. The Robbers have 9 political wards. You Shekiris, you have 8. The Jos have 3. So there is nothing you can do. And the seat of the House of Reps, which is the Warri Federal Constituency 1, is to be rotated among the 3 ethnic groups in Warri South. You, Shekiris, the Robbers, and the Jos. That is the proposition of Mr. President, and that is the way it's going to be. That is the way it's going to be. We will not accept any alteration of that proposition. We will not accept any alteration. Your Olu Shola Emiko is spending money trying to bribe political characters at the federal level, so that they will remove, they will take one of the words of the Urobos in Warri South and add it to the Shekiris, so they will have equal number of words with the Urobos, which we are not going to accept. If anyone, either INEC or any other political character, dares to withdraw one of the political words that are being proposed and allocated to the Urobos of Warri South and then add it to the Shekiris, we are going to reject it outrightly. And if they even dare to take one of the words that have been allocated to the Jos of Warri South and add it to the Shekiris, we are going to reject it. We will not accept it. We will not. We will not go accept them. Never. If now that one won't cause crisis for Warri, make it cause we not get time. If that is what will lead to the part 2 of the infamous Warri crisis in Warri Federal Constituency, let it happen. Let it happen. Like I said, we the Jos and Robbers, we not the fear war. We not the fear war. So don't take our civility for granted. Don't take our calmness, our peaceful nature for granted. Don't confuse our calmness for weakness. Don't. Don't. Our civility is not as a result of cowardice. So not if say we'll be cowards, we not fit do anything. I make we accept all these things. Now lie. Now what you want, Shekiri? The Robbers and the Jos of Warri Federal Constituency, we gallant, but we don't want the war because of peaceful coexistence and peace and stability in Warri Federal Constituency, and then out of respect for the office of the president and the NSA. You see? So Shekiri, more than 5 years now, I won't go enter. You don't be for now. And at the end of the day, all of this screaming, all of this propaganda that you are promoting everywhere, it will not yield any fruit. So me, I know say last, when I go enter house. Now shame. Now I go take enter house. Most of our leaders don't enter house already. Now your Olu Shola Emiko is on his knees begging people from offices to office, from one office to another, when he has spent his money to try to bribe people. But when he say money not they make any impact, he's presently on his knees, moving from one office to other, begging people that the wards in that are located to Robos in Warri South local government, that INEC should take one of them and add it to the Shekiris, so that the Shekiris will have 9 wards. Then Robos have 9 wards in Warri South, the same way it is in Warri North. We are not going to accept it. So, my dear brothers and sisters, don't listen to what the Shekiris are saying. Don't listen to them. These people, them, nothing they be. Nothing they be. They are just trying to incite the president against the Jos and Robos of Warri Federal Constituency. That is what they are trying to do. Incite the president and the office of the NSA against the Jos and Robos of Warri Federal Constituency by rewriting the proposition made by Mr. President. That is what they are trying to do. Now, when I saw that post made by that Ayuri's lapdog, that the Jos and Robos are fighting against the proposition made by Mr. President, that we are against it, that we are not respecting the president. The president gave a directive and we have outrightly disrespected Mr. President, rejected that directive. He made that post when they are the ones that have disrespected Mr. President and have rejected the directive given by the president. They did that to cover up. No Shekiris. And the Shekiri man can commit a crime and then blame it on someone else, so that the public, the gullible public, will not know that he is the one who committed the crime. They are the ones attacking Mr. President and NSA. They are the ones who have filed a case against Mr. President. Yet they come online to tell you that it is the Jos and Robos of Warri Federal Constituency who have accepted the proposition of Mr. President before the President and the NSA, and have conducted a press briefing to further inform the nation and our people that we accept the proposition of Mr. President. They are accusing us of being the ones disrespecting Mr. President. Say now we they disrespect Mr. President. When they say now we don't accept what he talk. We signed an MOU. Except you, Shekiris, you have no regards for the office of the NSA and the president, and of course, the rule of law and the constitution of this country. Except you don't have regards for it. So on the side of INEC, me, I'm telling you, if you dare to alter that arrangement that has been proposed by Mr. President, if you dare to alter it, if you remove even an inch of the wards that have been allocated to the Robos in Warri South, the 9 wards that have been proposed by Mr. President, and add it to the Shekiris, we will let air loose. If not, that one won't cause the problem for Warri, make it happen. We will let air loose. And if you dare to remove any of the 3 wards that are located just in Warri South and add it to the Shekiris, we will let air loose as well. If not, that one will cause another Warri crisis. See, we gallant. We gallant. We are quiet and we are preaching peace does not mean we are cowards. That we are preaching peace, we are embracing the proposition of Mr. President, even when it does not reflect the true principles of democracy. We are not cowards. We are not cowards. And you, Shekiris, you know, if the war starts, if the conflict begins, you know now you have no place to go. You cannot go to the river because the river belongs to us. You cannot even exceed the present locations that you are in Warri here, because every other part that you will go to belongs to the Robos. So where you want to go? Where you want to go? When it happened in 1997, 99 and 2003, you guys, all of you ran away from the rivers, the communities that you occupy in the river. You ran to the city, to Warri, and some of you moved to Sapele. At least then you had somewhere to run to. But now, if you start an ethnic conflict with the Jos and Robos of Warri Federal Constituency, you have nowhere to run to. You know if we go river because we mount our guard. Now we get the water. And you know if we still run go land because the Robos go mount their guard. What see where on one run go? Now so we go chat on for middle What will happen to now? If anybody like me, they call a genocide, we don't care. We don't care. Because we have compromised to an extent that any further compromise will mean that we are useless in this country. We have no purpose, we have no meaning, we have no value to the country. And it will mean that we are second-class citizens in this country. And we're not going to accept it. We're not going to accept them. You see all the oil wells that the Shekaris are bragging about. All these oil wells in the riverine. Now it's your territory the day. Now our territory, all of them day. Now our territory. The Shekaris just the parabolate. They claim saying I didn't get them. Just now when our women go shut the oil flow stations they're down. How many flow stations did Shekiri go? Now only your property now if you get access to, go shut them down. And that was what our women did. They went to all the flow stations and shut all of them down because now we get them. On Shekiri, how many now go? You say now you get flow station. Now you get oil, but you not fit access the place. Now you get water, but we don't block river. You said you are the landlords, but now you are the tenants. Now you get water, but now people when you say the tenant don't block you. When you say you be landlord from gaining access to the river, that same water you not fit enter again. Mad people. So me, I will always be here to reveal your secrets and to always call on INEC to do the needful. At this point, we are not even supposed to be talking about this nation matter again. After Mr. President took his time to schedule a meeting between him and the 3 ethnic groups in Abuja and has made a proposition, we are not supposed to be talking about this matter again. INEC is supposed to swing into action by fully implementing the report and then uploading it on their portal for every Nigerian to see. That will settle everything about Warri Federal Constituency delineation. We are not supposed to be talking about all of this now. President don't talk, he don't finish. This decision of the president is final. And he has further instructed the NSA to make everything put everything in documents, which he did. You signed, Shekiris, on a sign for the MOU. He just signed. Say, on I don't accept what the president talk. Say the Warri Federal Constituency 2 seats of the House of Rep. On I go rotate them. Shekiri and the job go rotate them for Warri Southwest and Warri North. And then the Federal Constituency 1 in Warri South will be rotated amongst the 3 ethnic groups, the Shekiri, Ijaw, and Robos. And that the position of the local government chairman in the 3 Warri local governments are to be rotated amongst the Jaws and the Shekiris and the Robos. Something like somewhere like Warri Southwest. It is to be rotated between the Jaws and the Shekiris. And in Warri North, it's to be rotated between the Jaws and the Shekiris. And when you come to Warri South, it's to be rotated within the Jaws, Robos, and the Shekiris. That is the way it ought to be, and that is what Mr. President has proposed. That is what he has proposed. And even the appointment of commissioners should not come from just one local government, where a single individual from a particular local government will be representing the other local government. It shouldn't be that in that manner anymore. That the 3 Warri local governments should produce their own commissioners. People, indigenous of these 3 local governments are to be appointed. Not be saying that one person they going to represent everybody. No. Warri Southwest, they will get their commissioner appointments. Their own commissioner appointment. Warri North will get their own commissioner appointment. The Warri South people, they will get their own commissioner appointment. So that in this format, there will be fairness. There will be fairness. But when they kick against them, when we even talk about the population, on not get them. You don't have the population, yet you are fighting. this proposition made by Mr. President that is even more beneficial to you than it is to us. To us, the Jaws and the robots, it's not even beneficial to us at all. We are just accepting it because of the respect we have for Mr. President and our concern for peace and stability in Warri. Now make we accept them. If not, the thing not benefit us at all. If we are to go by, or were to go by the initial report that was written by INEC immediately after the exercise was conducted, where the Jaws of Warri Southwest had 16 wards and the Shekiris 4, and then the robots of Warri South having more wards than 9 that is being allocated to them through the proposition of Mr. President, and the Egbemas, who were confirmed to be the overwhelming majority in Warri North, now sharing the same number of political votes with the Shekiris. You see? Now, out of respect and our concern for peaceful coexistence, political tolerance, I may we accept all of these things. If not, this proposition, Mr. President, does not benefit us in any way. It does not benefit the Jaws of Warri Federal Constituency. It does not benefit the robots of Warri Federal Constituency. Everything, the proposition, Mr. President, benefits only the Shekiris. Only on now, 19 benefits. We accept them. Not because say it go benefit us, no. But because say Mr. President now talk put. The number one citizen of the country don't talk put. Who are we to disregard what he has said? And we too, on our part, we need peace and stability in Warri. For these reasons, we have to accept what the president said. We accepted it. Now they come here, they turn the case around. They turn the case around. Say they lie, say job people and the Robopo are fighting against Mr. President. When now Shekiri don't go court, go file case against the president and NSA. They kick against the proposition when he make. Say on not support him. Say the local government chairman in Warri Southwest, that position on another rotate out with the job post. Say now only now take him. That the local government chairman in Warri North, say now only now take him. That the local government chairmanship position in Warri South, you say you know rotate him with anybody. Say now only you want take him. Even the federal House of Representatives seat, you said you don't want to rotate it with the Jaws and robots in Warri South. That it's your sole property. And even the one in Warri Southwest, which you reluctantly accepted. Say no one share. We not blame you. We not blame you. We not blame you. But we don't tell them categorically. If there should be any alteration of this proposition made by Mr. President, the arrangement that has already been put in place by the order of the President and further solidified by the office of the NSA, if there should be any alteration of that arrangement, whatever that will happen in this country, INEC and whoever that is responsible for that alteration will be blamed. Excuse me. INEC will be blamed. INEC, now you will go blame. So not try yourself. As we, the Jaws and robots, are peaceful, so not push us to the wall, though. President self know what to go happen. You know. So my people, wanna not mind the Shekiri people. They don't lose. So they are looking for one way or the other to truncate the proposition of Mr. President. They just define way when they want to scatter what the president talk. They want to scatter the entire Warri. And what is they define? But we not will give them that opportunity. So INEC, you have heard from the president and you have further heard from the NSA. You need to implement the report. Fully implement the report immediately. And upload it on your portals. So that Nigerians will know say this matter they don't solve them once and for all. You need to implement it. If you delay the implementation because you want this from mango inside, wetin go happen? The consequences will overwhelm you as a commission and will overwhelm the country. It will. And to the president and the office of the NSA, you have given the directive, you have made the proposition, we have accepted it. So please, Mr. President, do not allow anybody, any commission or character to alter that proposition that you have made, which we, the Jos and Rovers of Warri Federal Constituency, have accepted and have even signed an MOU to that effect. Do not allow anybody to do that. Do not allow anybody to tamper with that proposition that you have made, Mr. President. Because if you allow anybody to tamper with it or alter that proposition, it will be a betrayal of the Jos and Rovers of Warri Federal Constituency from you and the office of the NSA. You don't talk something. We don't say, okay, now you dey talk, we don't accept them. Mr. President, don't allow anybody go change waiting, we don't accept it. If anybody change and say they won't do one mago, we don't agree. That time we go kukuma bring ourselves out. Make everybody see. Because now respect when we get for you, now make we accept this one when you talk. Even though the delegation report say we get even more words than the secretaries. But because of respect, now make we accept this one when you do. So not allow anybody come begin twist this thing again. Because it go make us see vex well. And it will not be nice for this country. It not go deal well though. So please, for the sake of the respect we have for your office and the office of the NSA, please, Mr. President, do not allow anyone to interfere with it. Do not allow anyone to alter the proposition and the arrangement you have made. And prevail, please prevail on INEC to implement the report immediately and upload it on their portals. You need to, Mr. President. Because this delay is even undermining your position as the president of the country. Since you gave the proposition on the 11th of June, now today is 15. You gave the proposition and directed INEC to work in accordance and then implement it immediately. But today is 15. INEC is yet to implement it. And to me, and with the Jos and Rovers of Warri Federal Constituency, it's a sign of INEC directly disregarding your proposition and your directive, Mr. President. INEC is undermining your authority as the president of the country for not implementing the delegation report from that on the 11th till now. They are undermining your authority, Mr. President, and your office. Please do not accept any further alteration of that provision you have made, Mr. President. So guys, I will terminate the broadcast here. So maybe later in the evening, we'll